The future is certain. Give us time to work it out. Yeah.
It is closer than you think. Just 124 days to go to the general election. Can you hear that ticking clock? Getting the year off to a running start, the Conservatives have appealed to voters to stay on the road to economic recovery. David Cameron told supporters in West Yorkshire that a Tory victory was absolutely crucial, his words. And there was a new campaign poster to push home that message, immediately dubbed by the critics, both Labour and Lib Dem, as the road to ruin. Well, our North of England correspondent Kieran Jenkins has more.
It's the start of a new year, not just any year. There's a general election around the corner and already the campaigning's begun. Get used to this. Applause from the party faithful for no less an occasion than the launch of a new poster. The Tories first out of the block with a metaphor you may hear again before May the 7th.
So what we will say to people is when you are on the road to more jobs, don't turn back. When you are on the road to eliminating the deficit, don't turn back. When you're on the road to greater security for our country, don't turn back.
2015 will be a defining year for David Cameron. He knows that this party expects nothing short of an outright majority at the next election, and he clearly thinks the way to do it is to ram the message home on the economy.
The formal mandate we set is that the structural current deficit should be in balance in the final year of the 5-year forecast period, which is 2015-16 in this budget. This mandate is structural to give us flexibility to respond to external shocks, current to protect the most productive public investment, and credible because the OBR, not the Chancellor, will decide on the output gap. I can confirm that on the basis of the measures to be announced in this budget, the judgment of the OBR, which we published today, is that we are on track to meet these goals. Indeed, I can tell the House that because we have taken a cautious approach, we are set to meet them 1 year earlier in 2014-15. Or to put it another way, we are on track to have debt falling and a balanced structural current budget by the end of this Parliament. As a result of the measures I will announce today, public sector net borrowing will be £149 billion this year, falling to £116 billion next year, then £89 billion in 2012-13, then £60 billion in 2013-14. By 2014-15, borrowing reaches £37 billion, exactly half the amount forecast in the March budget. In 2015-16, borrowing falls further to £20 billion.
The Tories' big boast is that the deficit has halved since the last election. But in December, the Prime Minister said it was down by a third. So which is it?
As a share of the economy, borrowing will fall from 10.1% of GDP this year to just 1.1% in 2015-16.
When the government took office, the deficit was £150 billion, roughly. This year is expected to be about £90 billion, so the cash deficit has not been halved. However, it's quite normal to look at the size of the deficit in respect to how much of the economy it represents. Now, the economy is bigger now in cash terms than it was in 2010, so when you do that, you find that the deficit has fallen from about 10% of national income to about 5%, and therefore, in those terms, it has halved.
Now, it was the first poster of the 2015 general election campaign, the Conservatives urging voters to stay on the road to a stronger economy. But was it the right road?
The Prime Minister was out front yesterday as the Conservatives launched what was clearly intended to be a middle-of-the-road campaign. But questions were soon raised over whether the road in question was even in Britain. There was speculation that the photograph used may have been of a German scene, so when we spoke to the Chancellor last night, we thought we'd better check.
Is it a road in Germany, in fact? it's a British picture, a British road.
Some elements of the poster appear to have been taken from this still available from a photographic library. It was taken by German photographer Alexander Berzik in 2008. Well, today Channel 4 News contacted Mr. Berzik, and he said that the original photograph was taken in Germany, not far from his hometown of Weimar. However, he said that the version in the poster had been digitally altered. Tonight, a Conservative source said that the poster was based on a variety of images and that they had been previously assured that all elements of the photograph were British.
So there you have it.
We're